Hello, welcome to the Maxi-Man show. I'm your host, Albert Mchunguzi. The Maxi-Man show is a show that's about maximized manhood. If you're a man out there, this is a show for you. And on my panel today, I have two gentlemen. I'll request them to introduce themselves, beginning with the gentleman on my far left.
Wow. Emmanuel Charlton Bujingo is my name. I love the Lord. I'm born again 24/7, day and night, home and away, 360.
Wow. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yep.
William Dowell is my name. Glad to be with you again. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. This show is about maximized manhood. If you're a man out there and you want to know what it means to be a man, this is the show for you. And we are looking at basically three areas that every man is exposed to in life. We are looking at stewardship, we are looking at leadership, and relationships. You find that every man is exposed in these areas. Now, gentlemen, we have lived at a time just coming out of the Industrial Revolution, and there is advancement in technology. There's so many products that are being manufactured. I mean, every other day we find something is on the market. The supermarkets are stocked with products. There's so much to buy and use out there. Mr. Ndaula, how does one get to know the purpose of a thing?
Thank you. That's a very good question. And I think the principle there is that where a purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable.
Yeah.
You know, much as those gadgets or equipment or whatever new fabrication comes out, it starts as an idea. But then the maker wants to make it known to whoever who will be using it. So they give it a book, a small book or a booklet that comes with it, with the instructions. Actually, it's called the manufacturer's manual. That in that you have the instructions in how to use that gadget or whatever equipment that you have bought. And then you will actually get the benefits and the different functions you can get out of that machine you have bought. Otherwise, if you it could be like a phone, and you only use it as just calling, and not knowing there is even a camera on, there is this function on, I can do this, and other kind of stuff. So the manufacturer's manual helps one who acquires a new equipment to know how to go about operating that newly acquired equipment.
Yeah. So where abuse, where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable.
True.
So, Emma, is it possible that the same applies to masculinity, being a man? Is there such a thing that there is a purpose for a man, and there is a manual which we can read to know how a man functions?
Exactly. A man should know how he's supposed to function. Like you say, where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. For lack of getting to know about the purpose of masculinity, that is why we have the masculinity crisis today. And I think there's something we need to learn and put into practice. Manhood and Christ-likeness are synonymous. If we must maximize our manhood, we must emulate who Christ is, in whom we get to define our purpose as men. In him, we can overcome the crisis we are in as men.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ndaula, is there such a thing that we have a crisis of masculinity? Is it really true that we have a crisis going on?
That's a very good question, and I think for really this show that will put a lot of light for the men out there to kind of know the kind of times and the challenges that are existing right now. When you look around us now, there's a lot of what I would call gender blending. You know, in that you realize that there's like a fusion between genders. That now a man can be walking on the street and you cannot tell whether it's a man or a woman. And you know that could be in the dress code, but it could be even, you know, that creates a lot of confusion. Because somebody will see some role model guy out there dressed in a certain way, and he says, this is a celeb, I think I should dress like that. Then somebody will tell him, but men don't dress like that. So you see, there's a challenge in masculinity in terms of that, because of the so many things that have distorted the true manhood image and picture as it is. And you find that it doesn't only stop on how people dress, but it affects the men mentally, emotionally, and even physically. Mm-hmm. So it is true there is a crisis because people have so many things and they don't know where to pick what defines a real man.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about leadership. We've seen challenges world over. Is that something that we would associate with the masculinity crisis, Emma?
Exactly.
Talking about leadership.
Exactly. It is something you definitely need to associate with masculinity crisis. You know, men are called upon to be leaders. Men are called upon to take up positions of leadership. But once men abscond from the duty of being leaders, providing the leadership needed in society, we continue having the crisis we keep having as a society. So you cannot divorce leadership from the crisis we have today. We have the leadership crisis because of the masculinity crisis. If men can shape up and come to their rightful positions as men, as intended, like he talked about the manufacturer's manual. If men can get back to the foundation of who a man should be, how a man should behave, we will address the leadership crisis we are in.
Okay. Mr. Ndaula, you talked about a real man and having real men dealing with this issue of the crisis that we are in with regards to masculinity. We also have some perceptions in society that have tended to shape what a man is. Maybe can you throw some light? What are the perceptions we see in our society that maybe at times we don't even give much thought about, but indeed they are what several people are basing their lives on. If you can throw some light on that.
Yeah, I think before we go there, I just wanted to carry on with what Emma was, explaining about leadership.
Yeah.
And there's a very interesting story in the Bible. It's in the book of Judges, actually, and it concerns the family of Gideon, whereby his son murdered over 70 of his what? Brothers in one day. And that was Abimelech. He murdered his brothers. And Jotham called out a story explaining, the scenario and prophesying what was going to happen because they had trusted somebody who didn't have leadership qualities with leadership. And he said, the story goes that one day the trees wanted to elect a king. And they went to the olive tree, and the olive tree refused. They went to the fig tree, it did refuse. And then they went to, the third tree was, it also refused. The grapes, and it refused. And then there was the bramble bush, which said, it's okay, you elect me. Now bramble bush, it has thorns and everything. The other trees had fruits. Yeah. Fruits meaning that they were beneficial to the people. Mm-hmm. But this one, which had no fruit at all, is the one that accepted leadership. Mm-hmm. And I think that one spells a big, warning to the men out there, that the destiny of our country or the world is in our hands. When good men with good leadership qualities don't take up positions of responsibility in society, you have the men who have not been nurtured, who have not been mentored, taking up this leadership, and the rest of the three. They make decisions that will affect people.
Actually, it is said that all it takes for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing.
And say nothing.
And say nothing.
Right.
Because they are busy with their lives. Yeah, you can carry on.
It's done. It's done.
Yeah.
Done and dusted.
So, Emma, if you can dive into the society-dictated perceptions that men have carried themselves to be. I mean, we have things from the feminists, we have the gay rights activism, and it's defining for men what they think manhood should be. If you can throw some more light that probably someone is caught in there and they don't know that indeed they need to watch out.
Wow. There's a lot happening out there in the world, and we cannot really dispute the fact that a lot is really being circulated out there. However, like we said at some point, you need to go back to the manufacturer's manual to find out the real intention and purpose of a product. If men are to define and live by the intended philosophies of leadership, they need to get back to the foundation of understanding what it means to be a man. A lot will happen. You know, you cannot distinguish the truth if there is no lie. Or you cannot talk about a lie if there is no truth. So the truth becomes the standard upon which you measure to tell a lie from what is.
So who is a real man?
A real man is somebody who is defined from inside out. Somebody who understands from inside. It's not about me being a man of big muscles, but I need to be changed from inside out, and we draw that from Christ. Manhood and Christ-likeness are synonymous.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's a very good question. But you know, manhood is a process. That's why we teach that maturity doesn't come with age, but it comes with acceptance of responsibility. Now, as you say man, you know, dispensing himself, taking care of the responsibilities around him, and showing concern for other people. And that's one thing I always love, that Jesus was a people person. He would always take care of people's needs. Because what you see that is driving the world today, there's a lot of greed. Greed, selfishness, and mention it. But you see, all these are not manly characters. Because a man is supposed to be somebody who helps to solve challenges that are around him. And so the manhood process and who a real man is more what is being saying. You live your life from inside out. Those values that you have, that we have always emphasized, faithfulness, trust, and all that, they are part of you. And you realize that you are out to serve you're a gift to the world, and you serve the world.
So we realize from what you're saying that God has not left us to move in this maze called masculinity, but He has set an example for us of who a real man is. How does then someone get to have this life from inside out? Yet is it how does that all happen, Emma? Again, as we close. Yeah.
I am the way, the truth, and the life. If you must enjoy life and enjoy your life abundantly and maximize your life as a man, you must get to discover the path. You must get to discover the path of true manhood, of true biblical manhood. And on that path of biblical manhood, all it takes is understanding the truth for you to keep on that path as a man. It's not about what you do as a man, which profession you come from, which tribe you come from, but it is in who you are as a man. Understanding the belief system, the value system, what do you stand for as a man? That will define you and put you in a position of responsibility, distinguishing you from the rest of the philosophies men live by out there in the society.
Oh, thank you very much, gentlemen. Our viewers, manhood and Christ-likeness are synonymous. If you want to be a man, if you want to maximize your manhood, then be like Jesus Christ, the God-man, the example that God gave us, to become the men that will be influential in society and cause positive change that we are looking for. Thank you for watching. I remain your host, Albert Muchunguzi. Bye-bye.